Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the world tonight. This is a very quick vlog. Was going to do a vlog earlier today, just got caught up with really busy items that I had to take care of. But good news is my Swan-Centric Media X account has been restored. On the last show that I did a couple days ago, I indicated that the account had been suspended. So apparently, people can, especially if you're making comments on your channel, they can make accusations regarding anything, and and say anything. And based on what they say, your account can be suspended. So after a week and a half or so, I did an appeal for my account because I did not have a lot of subscribers on the account. Let me see. What am I looking at here? I forgot my camera here. I've got a couple of cameras going on. I didn't have a lot of subscribers, but whoever subscribes to your channel and they watch your content, they can say whatever they want to say, and based on what they say, your account can be suspended. So apparently, the great people at X did their homework. They did a little bit of checking, and they found that I was not in violation of any. I think it was um, not being authentic, whatever that means. So I guess apparently I am authentic. So I'm back on the original X account. So what that means is this: I cre- I created a second account called Still Swan Media, which I'm going to keep, by the way. I'm going to keep Still Swan Media because I like the name, and I kind of like the direction. I like the vibe. I like the brand. But I do have a certain amount of subscribers on Swan-Centric account. So I'm going to revert back to the Swan-Centric account, keep Still Swan on reserve, but bring everyone back to the original X account. So that's a great news, great information. I wanted to put that out earlier. As actually I found out yesterday, so I wanted to put that out yesterday, but now I'm putting that out now. Um, this upcoming week will be a very interesting week. Um, I gotta stop saying by the way. President Trump, as we know, over the weekend, as early as I would say last week on Friday, there was a violation of the ceasefire, and the Strait of Hormuz is now closed. The IRGC closed the strait, which is being problematic for everyone, all the countries throughout the world. So, as far as the effects of that, we will probably find out the effects of that first thing tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as to what is actually going on as a result of the closure of the strait. But I believe the deadline for the ceasefire was actually going to be up on Wednesday. So within the next couple of days or so. So we'll see what happens with that. If there are more peace talks, let me quote peace talks that are supposed to take place to this um, this confrontation. I did a show. My last show, where I kind of talked about uh, a Bible passage that references, when they say that there's peace and security, basically all hell breaks loose. So we're gonna see. I've got a not good feeling about all of this, especially with the upcoming weeks. But next week specifically, we need to keep an eye on. Interesting enough, I want to make one more point. In the news today, uh, I found this to be a very interesting. I got a couple things before I close out because I got to get to bed soon. A couple of things in the news. So a local Southern California person was apprehended at, I believe, LAX for working on behalf of the Israel, working on behalf of Iran, the government, smuggling arms. And I thought that was very interesting because um, as I have been doing a bit of research and just keeping up on things, um, this upcoming week, it appears that Iran is preparing for this upcoming week, meaning preparing for confrontation. But I found this to be really interesting. So allow me to share this I'm a snippet. I won't show the entire news article, but it's fresh off the press, and I want to kind of share that with everyone tonight. Let's see. This is the arrest of an individual um, arms smuggler. Here we go.
Now to developing news. A Woodland Hills woman is under arrest tonight. She's accused of trafficking bombs, drones, and ammunition on behalf of Iran's government. This comes as a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is set to end Tuesday night.
Yeah, talks are expected to be held this week in Pakistan's capital, but Tehran has yet to confirm its participation. Rachel Menitoff live in Woodland Hills tonight with the latest on this. Rachel.
Rick Kareen, the woman arrested, her name is Shamim Mafi. She's 44. She lived at this Woodland Hills apartment complex, and she was arrested Saturday night at LAX. It's not clear where exactly she was going. We spoke to a man who lives a few doors away from her. He says she was quiet and kind and would invite him over for meals. They would even talk about the war in Iran together, and he had no inclination about her alleged involvement in smuggling arms. Listen to what he told us.
She cooked me dinner sometimes. She would invite me over. Like, she was such a sweet person. I would never expect her to be an arms dealer. Just talk about the situation in Iran, like how, the war, when it was end. I never would think that she had anything to do with the government of Iran. It's crazy to me. So, yeah, I'm just shocked. I'm shocked and bewildered at how somebody like that could be involved in such high stakes.
There we go.
And here's a photo of Shamim Mafi. She's an Iranian national who became a permanent resident of the U.S. in 2016. And as you said, she is charged with trafficking arms, bombs, drones, and millions of rounds of ammunition on behalf of the Iranian government. Police apparently searched and seized a bunch of items from her Woodland Hills apartment overnight. At the same time, no ships are passing through the Strait of Hormuz today. Iran has restricted much of the access.
There we go. So, we're definitely leading to some type of showdown or confrontation as we head towards the beginning of the week. Tuesday being the deadline, Tuesday night for us, Wednesday morning for those that are in the Middle East. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that there may be some type of peace agreement, but it won't be long lasting. We'll see what happens. Interesting enough, one more thing I wanted to bring up, this other article before we close out, is regarding this upcoming week. So last week, there was a back and forth with President Trump and Pope Leo, just a verbal back and forth. Of course, we know on my last show I posted some information regarding what happened with President Trump with the Truth Social post of him mimicking Jesus. We talked about that. I won't bring that post back, but it was controversial. Pope Leo got involved, and matter of fact, I like the way he speaks English because he's an American citizen. But he's speaking Latin and speaking Italian is different, and it's different to the ears when you hear them speak English. He speaks perfect English, but there was some type of back and forth with those two. So, in response to that, Uh, I'm assuming as a goodwill gesture. Believe this or not, Donald Trump is supposed to be reading a Bible verse live on air, either on social media or on live TV, but I believe social media, of a Bible verse. Believe it or not, let's take a look at that clip. Trump to read Bible verse from Oval Office after feud with Pope and deleted AI image. And of course, that's the image of the Jesus post. On the right side here says, on April 21st, let's see, today's day is the 19th, so in 2 days. On April 21st, President Trump is scheduled to read a scripture via video message from the Oval Office during the 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Press release. Okay, the press release from organizers reads: the title of this video post will be, the event is called America Reads the Bible. Yeah, and I guess this is in response to his conflict with the Pope earlier in the week. It says in the video message, Trump. On my screen, it's really small here. It says in the video message, Trump, according to organizers, will read a passage from Chronicles 7:11, 22, which includes the frequently quoted verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from the wicked ways, then will hear, then I hear from heaven and will forgive them and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Okay, I'm sorry. I was really on my screen here. It's really small, so and obviously I don't know the verse verbatim, but apparently he's going to be posting this video message somehow on social media of this Bible verse. I find that to be highly interesting. Why is that, Mike? I find it to be highly interesting because, first of all, there's clearly a main doctrine within our government as a separation of church and state. And it looks like our government, current government, their current administration, is trying to merge religion with government, which can be problematic. I'm curious to know where this is going to go. I have an idea where it's going to go, but that's a different show. I'm working on a show to give a response to what I believe, my personal beliefs. Excuse me, let me. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. I have an idea where this is going to go from a prophetic perspective because I am a spiritual person. And I'll talk about that later, but this is going to be a very interesting week. So stay tuned to more content coming out from me more often, and more frequently on our main on the original channels, of course. It's One Century Media on X, One Century Media on YouTube, and I would like to do a couple of live shows where I can bring on guests. If you're interested in maybe coming on as a guest, I can bring you on Restream as a guest, and we can talk about some current events that are currently happening. I would love to do that. Also, I have a new AI co-host. I'm also naming her Victoria, and I'm not ready to deploy it yet. since I wasn't kicked off X for using AI Victoria, I was kicked off X for someone complaining about whatever their complaint was about. So, but I do have a new AI co-host. I like the AI co-host because it gives it's a window of opportunity for me to recall internet-based facts um, that intersect with my opinion, and I like to be able to have that particular type of dialogue. If I have to quick reference um, a news event, a current event, um, or a historical fact, I can do that straight away while online with my audience. I'm also working on, believe it or not, this is very fascinating for you. I really want to share this with everyone. So I don't like to talk about the paranormal, but it is of interest to me. And I ran across there's this phenomenon that I've been kind of experimenting with individuals speaking in tongues. As a kid growing up, my mom went through this phase in which she started speaking in tongues and scared the living daylights out of myself and my sister. And I recently ran across not only speaking in tongues, but speaking in other unknown languages. It has come across my timeline, and I found some interesting things. I won't get into detail right now, but if you're interested in hearing what I have to say about what I have found, interesting coincidence or phenomenon, hit me up, drop something in the chat, drop something in the comments if you want me to do a deeper dive into what I found. I don't really like to really deal with that type of stuff, but I just find it to be a very unusual phenomenon what I found, and it has to do with um, reverse language, and which was a very popular phenomenon in the 80s. And I think I've kind of touched on that from a previous podcast with reverse language, etc. So hit me up if you want me to talk a little bit more about that, and I would love to do a real time uh, analysis of what I found, so that you can hear it yourself from what I've come up with. Let me know. With that being said, I've got to get ready for work tomorrow. Next week will be one hell of a week for many things for myself, physically at work, but on a global level, I can't wait for tomorrow morning to see how things are going to pan out with this Trump situation and what's happening in the Middle East. With that being said, everyone have a great night. See you very soon.